boy Ziggy Doom. How's everybody doing? Hey, long time no see, right? I haven't done a podcast in well over a month now, and I think this might be the longest stint I've went without doing a podcast back to back. I got this program, Riverside Studio, and I'm still trying to tweak and peak it, and I'm also, trying to get things together with a co-host to see, you got to work around people's schedules and stuff. So I'm doing that, and doing a little bit of relocating too. So been kind of busy, man. But that's life, right? I'm not a full time YouTuber. I don't have the luxury of just sitting in front of a camera and playing video games or streaming or doing whatever. I got a real job and I got real bills. So, but I don't want to cheat my audience because y'all have been with me. The A1s who have been with me from day one, I don't want to cheat you guys and y'all want to see my content. So, uh, yeah, but that's what it is. Real life stuff. Ain't nothing crazy going on. No um, dark place, yada yada, whatever people go through. But I wanted to get on here, man, really to talk about the current state of affairs in our country. Now, I don't like getting political or religious because I know how people feel about those things and it's real sensitive subjects. So I keep that in mind because you could have a friend one day and then they find out you believe in this or you voted for that person and then now all of a sudden they don't, they feel some kind of way about you. And not that I care about those things because if someone is really that shallow to where their whole viewpoint about me changes based on my belief or who I voted for, whatever, then so be it. I don't want that kind of person around me anyway. We all have the right to vote for whoever we want to vote for, and that's what it is. But I just want to talk about the current state of affairs, and it's troubling enough to where I feel I should speak on my platform about it. Um, so you guys probably heard about the $2 billion fund that the president got after settling with the Department of Justice out of court, and it basically will go to the people that felt they um, were vilified because they supported the Donald Trump administration, or they felt that they were treated unfairly because they supported Donald Trump, and basically people like the January 6th rioters. So if you apply for this fund and you were proven to be, vilified or discriminated against because you supported President Trump, then you will be eligible for money out of um, this fund, so to speak. The Attorney General used to be Donald Trump's personal attorney. Now he's the Attorney General, and if you think about it, man, it's not really hard to figure out what's going on. If you look at who's put in the power and how they tie in with the person that put them in power, you can see the the attempt at a monopoly over our administration, every facet of it, the judicial, the legislative, and the executive branch, and it's crazy because people live their day to day lives, and most people don't know politics. They don't understand politics. They just read. They go to TV or go to TikTok or whatever, and they read about it, and that's what they know. They don't fact check. They don't really care. But we are all being affected with the prices, right? Everybody that have a vehicle is being affected by the prices. My truck, my biggest truck, costs $140 to fill up, so that's a bill right there, you know. So it does affect people. So we got to try to understand where we are, where we've come from, and where we're going as a country. Because it's a lot of people that are struggling, and the price of living, the cost of living is going up, but the wages aren't, and it's going up. I mean, exponentially now. Everything just costs more money. And when you look at the things that are being done for the people who are in a certain position and what's not being done for the people that actually need it, it's ridiculous. The middle class is getting stretched so thin. You're gonna have an upper middle class and a lower middle class, which is pretty much rich and poor. But that middle class is what separates us from third world countries. Third world countries don't have a middle class. They got the rich and the poor. And obviously the rich can tell the poor whatever to do, right? But you got the middle class to kind of blend those in and to have a voice for both sides or a mixture of opinions. And this middle class thing is getting thin. So it's just certain things like really I don't agree with the way they try to erase certain parts of history and say one thing was bad or one thing wasn't, you know. So I want you guys to think about this. If the president has created part of his settlement, he's created a $2 million fund to give people who felt they were treated unjustly by the administration. Doesn't that kind of sound like reparations? Right? They got a fund for these people. Hey, we know you were treated wrong, and we're going to give you money because you were treated wrong. Don't that sound like reparations? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't a certain other group of people ask for reparations? 40 acres and a mule wasn't even money. 40 acres and a mule. I I don't remember anybody pushing for that at all. Period. Either side, Republican or Democrat. But it's just real interesting when you think about how people really don't care about something unless it benefits them. They don't care. They don't even, there are people that will agree, people that don't even aren't even eligible for this fund that will agree with it because they have their personal feelings about someone else, right? I don't like you so much, I'm willing to support this person and whatever comes with it just because I don't like you that much. And that doesn't make sense to me. So we're changing professional degrees, and it seems like the ones we're changing are all based around jobs that are predominantly women, nursing degrees, teaching degrees. I'm not sure what's up with that. I don't know, guys. I'm not trying to get political, but this stuff is like slap you in your face crazy. I mean, slap you in your face crazy when you're willing to put an entire country into deficit because of a pity or a pity pat spat you have with another country, and your justification is, well, we can't have that country with nukes. I mean, they've had nukes all this time. What have they done with them? But I get it. I know the political game. So it's just I don't know what's gonna happen in these next 2 years that is bright or a something to look forward to as a country, right? We can talk about individual accolades here and there, but as a country, people are suffering. It's getting hard to live. It's getting hard, and they're not doing any. There's nothing being done that will convince me that we're going in the right direction. I ain't never seen no stuff like this before. You can't you can't do no wrong, and anyone that does, there's consequences, right? I mean, if I could like go back to a time where I remember it being this bad with the economy, I don't even know, man. I mean, I don't want to go back to the Great Recession. I mean, it's not that bad yet, but what are we doing to address this national debt? Now there's gonna always be debt, right? And usually presidents inherit debt from previous presidents, right? That's how that goes. But I'm looking at all these programs that we have, and I can't really see any that are benefiting the people that are at or a little bit above the poverty line. I can't see none of it. And this money that is being spent, billions of dollars have to come from somewhere. Okay. You can probably hide millions of dollars, but billions of dollars, it has to come from somewhere. And is always gonna be the taxpayers, no matter what. And billionaires do not pay taxes. They don't. They know how to use a tax code and get around paying taxes. And before somebody out there say, well, you need to figure out how to do it yourself. I do know how, but I'm not a billionaire. I don't have access to those things that I can just write off. Buy a G wagon, write it off as a business vehicle, and lower my tax, amount, my the money I have to pay taxes on. I mean, whatever little businesses I have, write them off, whatever as a loss, okay. But billionaires have way different ways to get around taxes. First of all, they don't even use money, right? They go against what their shares are worth. They say, hey, I want to use my shares and get this, and that's how they get that. And they don't use none of their money; they use credit. And no bank finna just say, hey, Ziggy, we about to give you a credit card with $10 million limit. Ain't nobody about to do that. Then they, okay, cool, give me that. Then the interest they get on they stocks or the dividends returns they use that and pay it off. I can't do that. Regular person can't do that. You know. So we're gonna always gonna be the taxpayers that foot all these bills, all this new building they doing in the White House, all these new programs and hush funds or whatever. The taxpayers foot that. And then when the taxpayers can't foot it, it's got to come from somewhere, and we lose programs. They cut funding for programs, parks, school programs, things like that. That's what they cut first. They don't say, "Oh well, you can't have this yacht." You know, they don't say, "Oh well, billionaires can't get around these taxes. They should pay more because they make more." They don't do that. Say, all right, give it to the taxpayer. Social Security, something we all work for. We all work for Social Security so that when we retire, we'll have some. And the people that worked before us, they work, and that money that they made was for our generation. The money we make is for the next generation. But if the money is gone, what are we doing? We paying the Social Security, but we don't even know if we're gonna be eligible for it when we retire. My kids, their kids, they might not even have a Social Security. That's a real thing, y'all. That ain't. I'm not just talking about like, oh well, expect this stuff is real. I'm not gonna get in front of this camera and talk about something that's just fluff. We got enough people doing that already. These things are real. Unfortunately, most people don't understand. They don't understand. First of all, people don't really know much. Let's just be honest. They don't. They wake up. They see they girlfriend or boyfriend. They see their coworker. They see their friend, and that's it. I work. I pay my bills. I got a little bit of money left over. I'm good. Okay. Now I guess you are good. But do you not want to be informed? Right? It's okay to say, I made a bad choice. But this right here is I have no idea, y'all. And I'm worried, not for me per se, but for my generation, the people that come after me, my bloodline and their bloodline. This is you know, there's some stuff going on that's just blowing my mind. I can't even like explain it. I wanted to get on here and talk about like sports and stuff like that, but it's the NBA playoffs. They just fired Jason Kidd, but I would feel wrong. Like, man, we got real stuff going on. These NBA players, they'll be okay. Jason Kidd, he'll be okay. But y'all, we got so much going on. What can we do about it? Right? That's what people will say. Well, I can't do nothing about. People can say that. Well, every any movement or change always started with a spark, right? So for me, I've never been the one to push that voting at the ballots thing, right? You have a right to vote, whatever. For me, I've always believed in voting with my dollars, what I spend my money on. If I have stocks and shares of things, then I'm gonna spend money on those things. If I don't agree with something or I don't agree with the person that backs something, I'm not gonna spend my money on that. If more people were like that, I think we would make a lot more change than simply voting. Okay, that's just my opinion. But people don't do that. People still gonna go to these restaurants and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on this food, knowing that is killing them, knowing that the person behind it is questionable, and that's their prerogative, right? Because when you try to tell somebody how to spend their money, that could be seen as being disrespectful, right? But I'm just there's people that think that they can't do anything. That's who I'm talking to. The people that's like, well, I don't know what can I do. You know, but you can always vote with your dollars. You're gonna spend money, so spend money on things that you support, that you can benefit from, or it's a necessity. Don't just do it because everybody else doing it, right? Y'all know about the Apple watches or Apple, the AP Swatch watches that are like stopwatches, and you had all them people standing out in line for days at a time just to not get a watch, right? Like that's ridiculous, man. In my opinion, that's ridiculous. Now, some watch enthusiasts will say, "Well, we that's what we like doing," and people stand in line for Jordans, and yada yada. Okay, cool. But can we agree? Can we agree that standing in a line? Well, I'm sorry, he's sitting in a line with a folding chair for 5 days, not taking a shower, using the bathroom wherever you can find the ground. It's just a little ridiculous for a stopwatch. Can we just agree on that? Just a little bit ridiculous, right? Can we agree on that, y'all? And maybe not because this is America. You're gonna have somebody that's gonna always disagree with something, no matter what. If everybody in America could make $1 million a year, it's gonna be somebody. Well, I want $1 million, $1,000,001, or I don't think my neighbor should get $1 million. It's always that. Always. Some people think that when other people get the same opportunities that they have, they think that they're getting something taken from them. That is not how that works. If you hear and I'm getting something that will get me there with you, that you're not getting nothing taken away from you. And it's ridiculous, man. The way we think, the way we see things, everybody's so divided. You know, we have to at some point, in order for real change to happen, we're gonna have to admit some truths. In order for us there to be some unity, some understanding, we gotta admit some ugly truths. And the ugly truth is this country it's not in a better place than it was 4 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago. It is not. But there are people that will back that and stand behind it, and you can show them the numbers, and it ain't gonna matter, right? What else? Fake news, fake numbers. Who did this study? Or that person is this or that. It is so. I stay in my room. I really do stay in my room, man. Going outside for me, it don't even make sense no more. I'll go to the grocery store, you know, travel between, my residences, but after that, I just stay in the house, man. Go to work, stay in the house, because it's I don't know. It's so much I can get into, but I won't because I'm still new with this format, and I want to make sure I'm actually putting something out there for you guys that you can see. So yeah, but that's it, man. I'm gonna leave it at that, y'all. I'm gonna keep the podcast going. I apologize. I with so much stuff going on, every day was like a new topic, and I'm like, man, this is overwhelming. So let me just put something out there now, and then I can get everything together later on. Work on the co-host thing, see where that goes. But at the end of the day, co-host or not, y'all gonna get this face. But yeah, man, that'll be it for this one, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Like I always, leave the comments, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until the next YouTube video, be easy.